Okay. My name is William. I'm going to be walking you through the session today. Before we begin, I have some info and a couple questions for you, and I'm going to read it all to make sure I cover everything. We're asking you to use an application that we've been working on so you can see whether it works as intended. The session will take 30 to 40 minutes. First thing I want to make clear right away is that we're testing the app. We're not testing you. You can't do anything wrong here. Also, please don't worry that you're going to hurt our feelings. We're doing this to improve the app, so we need to hear your honest reactions, the good, the bad, and especially the ugly. As you use the app, I'm going to ask you as much as possible to try and think out loud, to say what you're looking at and what you're trying to do and what you're thinking. And this will be a big help to us in making improvements. So if you don't like something, tell us. If something's confusing, tell us. If you want us to change something, we want to hear it. If you have any questions as we go along, just ask them. I might not be able to answer them right away since we're interested in how people do when they don't have someone sitting next to them. So bottom line, we want the app to fall on its face. If it's not performing properly, we want to see that.
Okay.
If you still have questions afterwards, when we're done, I'll try to answer them then. You may have noticed there's a little camera pointing at the iPhone. With your permission, we're going to record what happens on the iPhone screen and capture our conversation. The recording will not be posted online. It will only be viewed by a few people who are working on the app. Any questions so far?
Yep.
Okay. So what you see here in front of you is just after you were to have downloaded something from the App Store, so the Apple App Store, and you've loaded it onto your phone, you've clicked the icon to launch, this is the first page you would see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll turn it over to you. And this is wireframe. So wireframes is sort of like the equivalent of sketch before painting.
Okay, I assume that this is a photo of
A doctor, a patient.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Just that sort of thing. So these are just, like I said, loose, rough sketches.
Right. Join us or log in. Joining a group, when you say join us, I'm not sure what that.
The name of the app is Cancer Connect.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say join us, you're kind of joining the community.
Okay. And what's the login as opposed to join us?
Login would be
more
if
private?
you've already signed up.
Mm-hmm.
So join us is the initial sign up. Login is when you come back.
Oh, okay.
So one is creating an account and one is accessing an account. And as I mentioned, these are all dummy, so they don't actually work right now.
Mm-hmm.
The buttons do. Oops.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. And then this would be a loading screen, so now you'd be in an account.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess it needs to say loading. I can't tell what's going on. Okay, okay, so I'm the patient. Next. Oops. What's your name?
You could pretend that you would type those in.
What happens if you want to stay anonymous? Is that allowed for? Oh, just a dummy name.
Dummy name.
Is it important to you that there is
Some people are very skittish. I go to several support groups, and there are some people that just don't want to reveal things that are sensitive. Oh, that's a dummy. Okay.
Yep.
Next. What type of cancer you have? I have breast cancer. Next. Is this first time? Yes, I'm first timer. Say about surgery. Okay, this is asking about surgery. That's a yes. Did your doctor say chemotherapy? Not in my case. No, I guess radiation is a question to ask my doctor. Being therapy. I have a question here. This asks about radiation treatment. And initially, the doctor said, the surgeon said that I would have radiation with lumpectomy. And then the last appointment just before surgery, he threw in mastectomy. So I'm not sure. One situation said yes, and then it's like pick and choose. You have two options, one with radiation, one without. And it's not, well, this doesn't, well,
So
this
those
says,
options don't
yeah,
happen
yes,
completely?
yes or no is what it's saying, but it doesn't allow for multiple treatment options. Hormone therapy. Yes. Okay.
That would be a loading page.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, okay.
So you just have
Cancer Connect, use your iPhone's location.
And then I'll explain a little bit. This is the landing page after you've created your profile. So this question here might not be very relevant to you at the moment, but what this feature will be is questions that you didn't answer that you need to have answered by your doctor. And we're giving it some primary real estate to remind you to continue to engage your doctor and ask questions. The rest of it is your homepage and the scroll forward.
Okay.
So that feature's not tappable yet.
Okay.
But the rest of the
Okay.
stuff is.
Recommend.
What do you think of this page?
I think beginners, newcomers to cancer, this is maybe too overwhelming.
Okay, great feedback. And why do you think that?
I think it needs to be narrowed down because they're just focused on their treatment, nothing beyond that. And I think the doctor would be the one to let them know about the clinicals. They may not even have it. Say if it's someone who doesn't speak English very well, it would be difficult for them to understand what clinicals trials are.
Okay. What else would you like to see on this page? Scroll to, by the way.
I think oftentimes people say they're going into surgery, they want to know what that surgery may mean to them. That is, if you have a lumpectomy, what does that look like in terms of the human body?
Mm-hmm.
You know, mastectomies, what does that mean? And then options thereafter associated with that.
Okay.
In other words, they want a physical picture to see whether that might be something they want to pursue or not.
To get an understanding of what they're coming into.
Yeah.
Okay. Great feedback.
Oh, it repeats. I guess that's
Dummy placeholders. Normally it would be all individual unique articles.
Right, right. Okay. These are not active, right? It's just
You can
kind
tap
of
them.
a,
It goes through one specific article.
oh,
So go ahead and tap. What do you think about the font sizes on that?
the font size?
Yeah.
Oh, I think
Text.
it's fine. Yeah, that might be an option for those of us that are elderly, because your eyes wear down. It may be a problem. They might want it bigger. Yeah. For me, it seems fine.
Are your glasses reading glasses or seeing glasses?
They're for distance and for reading. They're both, yeah.
But you
Oh.
can read that without the.
Well, it's, you know, I need to have my eyes checked.
What do you think of the length of that article? Would you read that entire thing, or
Let me go back here. Maybe what, like a table of contents or an index
okay.
to kind of zone into
Where would you expect to see that?
at the beginning.
Okay.
That was a good question.
How did you feel about the length?
I don't have any problems because I do a lot of reading. So most people, I don't know. That I don't know.
Now thinking back to when you were first diagnosed, if you were in that space again, what do you think you would click on here or tap on? What would you explore?
When you say evidence-based treatment, it doesn't resonate with the newly diagnosed. They don't know what that is.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the wording needs to be, this is more scientific terminology, I guess, and it needs to be more layperson.
Okay.
What's a knowledge, likewise for knowledge library?
Click through.
Oh, I mean, the terminology.
Yeah. What would you like to see in place of that? What would you name it if you had your preference?
Well, I guess questions about cancer. Something very simple. Probably a grade school kid can identify with. I think that's.
That was not active. That
Okay,
one is.
go back. Oh, these aren't active, I guess.
Yeah, clinical
Okay.
trials is an evidence-based treatment is, the knowledge library is, and
Okay.
the articles are.
Okay. Oh, it's not active either. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Is that it or?
Let me show you another thing.
Okay.
Could you walk through that?
Okay. I must admit, there's nothing like dealing with a human. You know, hearing it from a doctor as opposed to a device. I mean, I think this is good supportive material after you've seen the doctor.
Okay.
But initially, I think the doctor needs to drive it first.
So do you think, when you think back to the timeline, when you first thought you should go see a doctor, to seeing the doctor, to having tests and being diagnosed, what was that space of time? And do you think this app might have helped you in that space of time before you got an official diagnosis from a doctor?
Yeah, it's a scary situation, a scary time, I guess. In my situation, I have a family history, a very strong family history. This was before the genetic tests were done. And the primary doctor, I went in for a physical, and he said, "You have a strong family history here. Let me refer you to the breast center. And, you know, I'd like you to see someone there." So I went and saw someone there, and she said the same, surgeon said the same thing. And she says, "Let's do an MRI just to be on the safe side." And then the results came back with something abnormal. And that's when well, actually, I didn't think very much of it. I knew that I had a strong family history. At some point in time, the cancer would surface. But I just kind of went on with daily life until that point in time. And then when the abnormal report came back, that's when things started to get a little scary. And I think that's when you really, well, for me, I do a lot of researching. That's,
Do you think an app like this would have helped you?
yes. My two sisters, actually, when they were diagnosed, also, I did researching for them as well. And that would have helped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you do research? What kind of research?
Well, the two main websites that I go to is Medical News Today, and I think it's Science Daily. And I search for breast cancer, and they update that sometimes daily, sometimes once a week. But they have very current articles, and I think there's some oncology reports that somehow I got on their list, and they'll send me things periodically. And you know, I'll go through those as well.
What makes you trust those resources?
They're established organizations. The other thing is I use them. You know, I'm more about, at this point in my journey, I'm more about paying back and helping other people that are going through this. So I attend several support groups, and these articles, I'll hear questions that come up and things, and it just kind of goes back in my memory bank, and I'll mention it to them or connect them with a person or whatever. I'm doing what you're doing here, but manually.
Great that you're giving feedback and allowing us to hear.
Oh, well, it makes use of my background, and you know, I figure it's saves time for people.
Have you ever used
frustration.
NCI, National Cancer Institute?
Rarely. I think that the Komen, the American Cancer, for general questions. Like I had one gal here at the support group, and she was diagnosed. She has already had the mastectomy, gone through chemo and everything, pretty much near the end of her treatment, but she didn't understand what BRCA was. And so she asked that, and I just thought, I don't want to go to something technical, something at a higher level that's more for the lay person. And she's from abroad. She's not from here. So I went to I guess I looked at a couple of different sites, and Susan Komen was at a high enough, what do you call it, general enough level that would register with her.
Gotcha.
So would you say that NCI and American Cancer is too technical for the audience that you're
I haven't really used it all that much.
So when you're looking, are you looking for the more technical or?
Well, for me, more technical. It depends. You know, with these support groups, some women are really on top of things, and there are other women that are just beginners, and they don't really understand their diagnosis. They don't even know what the words mean. When you ask them, they said, I don't know. All I know is I have cancer. The doctor said a bunch of things, but I don't know what it is that I have other than breast cancer. And so you kind of have to gauge, I think, right, and then fit the article or point them in a direction that'll match their level.
Continue walking through that one.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, some frustration here. Oh, I'm pressing too hard. Okay. Stages of cancer.
Those aren't really technical.
Oh, okay. Next. There's subtype.
That would be a loading screen. Into there.
Did those questions make sense to you, Helen?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Dr. Susan Love, I don't know if you're aware of her, she has a book that just came out. She has what we call the Bible for breast cancer. And it's the 5th edition that just came out in September. And I think she has in one of the appendix, I guess, there is a very thorough questionnaire. I didn't bring it with me. I made a copy for the support group.
What's the name of it?
Dr. Susan Love, the hormone book. September of this year, and she has a very, I mean, it's very thorough. She's a breast surgeon, or was a breast surgeon, and very thorough questionnaire about the cancer that you have or the diagnosis. Let's see.
What do you think about the font size on this page?
It's a bit small. I'm having a little bit of problem with this. Can you target their visual thing up front, and then they don't have to?
Yeah, we're looking at in the part of the onboard process building a pro.
Oh, okay.
That will let users adjust font sizes at that point. We're trying to find that happy medium balance, like what could we start it off at, and trying to fit the content into the iPhone. When we increase the font size, how much longer or bigger does the page get?
Oh, okay. Okay. It's only so much real estate. It's very valuable. Oh, I guess I went back there. Evidence-based treatment. I hit the. Oh, it's back. I hit the wrong button. No. Oh, okay. Goes back to the front screen. Let's see. Evidence-based. Here. It was on evidence-based treatment. Okay. And then let me go back to where it was. Cancer subtype. Oh. No, I was on the hormone treatments, and I selected one, but I think it's aromasin. And so I want to go back to see what the other one was. And it bounced me back to the top of the.
Just get you there really quick then. So you're on that one?
Yes. Okay, so I'm here and I want to go back to systemic therapies. That's the hormone treatments, right? Or is that? Because I'm in hormone treatments and there are two options. I've selected one. And then it's like, okay, I want to go back and look at the other one.
Gotcha. Well, normally, and this might be a code issue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
Tomorrow.
next level. And those are dummy
Right,
articles.
right.
So.
Okay. Okay.
But you would have wanted to go back and look at it.
Right.
Yeah.
In other words, if you have two options and you're eligible for both, and
it's comedy.
What did you think about the language of the treatment?
Yeah, that is a treatment page. How do you feel about the writing and the level of jargon on the page? Does that work for you?
yeah, it's general enough. I think. Yeah, I think anybody who wants more information probably will go back to your library or whatever to get more detail.
Okay.
But you need to, yeah, keeping it at a higher level, I think is good. Just maybe a 1 or 2 sentence to explain what this is.
Mhm.
No more than that. You may lose them. Okay. Well, I'm trying to go back up a level.
Oops.
Guess it doesn't like
I
little
went back
fingers.
to.
It's okay.
So you wanted to go.
I'm done with the
Are you done with this section?
yes.
Okay. Oops. That's also scroll.
Let's see, with the scrolling, because it's not evident and I don't use I don't have a cell phone.
Mhm.
I think if you put an arrow pointing down, then they'll know that there's more to.
How would you feel if something was displayed where you saw like half of something down here? Does that feel like it's scrollable?
Yes. Yeah. Well, you'd want to see more, right?
Yep. What do you think about that page?
I like it. There is. Oh, there was a movie that just came out with I think it was this Friday. Drew Barrymore, and I forgot the other lady's name. And it's about two friends, but one of them ended up having metastatic breast cancer. She was first diagnosed with the breast cancer, and they gave a handout, a little, what is a cardboard handout for each of us. I didn't bring it. I should have brought it, and I'll go home, get a copy, and bring it to show you. But they had a carton of eggs, and I thought it was so well demonstrated. Carton of eggs, and it shows the various types or stages of breast cancer that one can have. And it's just, on the flip side, it's basically used to explain to a child what mommy has to go through or what daddy has to go through. And it's just, it's a good visual. And I think it would be beneficial here. Because it says nothing does more than words in a short or a small amount of space. I think I brought it. Maybe I do have it here. No. Yeah, I'll have to drop it off to you.
If you had an application like this and you were a cell phone user, would you want to be able to connect to your friends and family to give them updates via the application?
Not necessarily. I'm a very private person, so I only have a very small team that I work with.
Okay.
And they're non-professionals, they're acquaintances or support group friends that I've met. And those I would, like to keep them updated on.
Okay. If you could, broadcast from one point and send it to all your friends within that group, your team, would you want a feature like that?
I think so.
Like if you were,
Some things, it's somewhat selective on what you want to broadcast.
yeah, like if you were having
Right.
a down day and you didn't want to talk to anybody, send a message out to everybody instead of everybody calling you individually. Would that be something you might find helpful?
I think some people would. For myself, I wouldn't want to do that, but I know in the support group, yeah, there's a need for it.
Okay.
They don't want to repeat the story over and over and over again. It just it's depressing to some extent, I guess, and it wears you down.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
That was I think feedback we had gotten last time was that one woman had said that she felt like she was almost like a counselor to.
You have to defend yourself, and it takes energy to do that.
Yeah.
And it just exhausts you.
Yeah, she was saying that she felt she was having to give other people grief counseling for the impact that her diagnosis had on them.
Right. It's about you as the cancer patient. It's not about them.
Yeah. What was it?
Well, you said you came in here with a wish list.
Oh,
yeah,
So we'd love to
wish
hear
list.
those.
Okay.
Oh, she's digging.
All prepared. Yeah, we love it.
Sorry about. I wish I had brought those. But I'll go home and get them. See, these are typical articles that I get. And here's a good one. Circulating tumor DNA in blood. And he has a little video here, which is just excellent. I mean,
If you don't mind, maybe afterwards, let me do this.
yeah, well, I have a whole mess of them. It becomes, here.
So
This is Susan Love's. This is what I brought to this report group. Let's see how extensive it is. It's way too extensive for the layperson.
okay.
This is like,
This is a book you recommended, right?
yeah.
Do you ever use PubMed.org?
Pardon me?
PubMed.org.
No, what is that?
It's peer-reviewed scientific articles. A lot of stuff on cancer. And
PubMed. Oh, okay. I think someone did mention it from one of the lectures that he's seen. But you can see in the appendix here, this table of contents on what's covered, and it might help you or give you some idea.
Yeah.
Also, what.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, the pathology checklist is just, it's important.
It's
And
a checklist, right?
yeah, women don't know what they've had the surgery, they have pathology results, and it's like, I don't know. Are you hormone positive? Are you BRCA? I don't know.
Do you think that's a personality?
It's fear. And being overwhelmed with all the mnemonics and terminology. It's just a whole new world.
You were talking about indexes and table contents. Would something like that work for you? If you could tap into those and have the article automatically scroll. And those aren't.
Oh, they're not. Oh, okay.
This is basically like this is like the tabs today. There. So it's basically a toggle switch.
Uh-huh.
So it opens it up and shows you what's in the article. And if you were to tap one of these, then the article would automatically scroll down to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be something you'd like to see?
Yeah. So they have two options. They can go down, linearly, or they can go to the menu and jump to different.
Yeah, if you only wanted to read that one specific item, say, cost benefits or whatever. I can't read it upside down.
Right, cost breakdown, yeah.
But if you wanted to just read that one thing instead of scrolling all the way to find it,
Right.
having it anchor to that one point there.
I'm wondering whether it'd be a benefit to isolate the newcomers from those that have, been under treatment. They understand the terminology. And so you have something that's short and sweet for the newcomers.
We kind of do that with the profile as you're on board with the questions.
Okay.
So we tailor the content.
So what comes up will be,
you,
okay.
So that if you say, this is my first diagnosis and I'm unsure of this, unsure of that, and unsure of the other,
Right.
we'll give you a basic set of articles because we don't want to make a suggestion like, look at this treatment because we don't really know what you have yet.
Right.
So then we populate the thing with questions for you to ask your doctor.
Okay, here's my list. I have a thing called Reminder, and it might be, you probably already have this in here, but I just went through this morning in preparation. Let's see, Reminder. Is this knowledge-based? Any of this knowledge-based? Okay. Okay. For Reminder on treatments, follow-up, protocol, and threads. That is, I guess, it's pretty clear. If you have this, then you follow this route, which is what the doctors do.
Yeah.
And would that be available to the patient if they want to kind of look ahead and say, okay, I'm in this category here in stage 3 or stage 2 with this sort of thing? What's next in store for me? I think that question often comes up, and women are really scared. They say, I don't know what's going to happen to me, and I'm scared for the future. I don't have control. The bottom line is, I don't have control over my future. So it basically anticipates, depending on where you are, say it's stage 2, and it anticipates what sort of appointments, whether it's, say they've decided for you, okay, you're not going to have a mastectomy, you're going to have lumpectomy. Okay, so what can I expect? About how long would it take? And that's probably not a reasonable question, but I've had women that ask, I have children at home. I have to figure out on my calendar who to line up to take care of things. And so it's important for me to know or get some feeling as to how much time this would take out of my day, or what I can still contribute to the family. So it helps them prepare. Yeah, right.
So would you like to see some sort of roadmap or timeline?
Yes. And I did that. Actually, I went on another friend who had a similar treatment. She fortunately blogged, so I went on her blog, and she had a journal. And I was able to reconstruct from that to give her some idea so that she can go forward to do her planning. I think verbal and visual cues are very important. Says a lot more than words initially. And if they want more detail, they can get into the.
By verbal, do you mean the talking to the device talking to you?
Now, I'd like to see pictures, much like I was saying, I'll have to bring this card to let you see. I won't say anything. I'll just let you look at it, and you can think of terms, in your environment, what it takes to explain the various stages of breast cancer. It says it all in one nutshell. I don't have to say anything. It's just visual. Okay, and then that's the reminder. I think you already have it.
What do you mean by
There.
reminders?
Well, the reminder is to remind the patient, this is what you have coming up.
Yeah.
You have your chemotherapy or the radiation, or in your situation, we start the chemo first, and then it's going to be radiation. So maybe you're down to your last chemo, and it's a reminder. You're going to be in line for after so many weeks, you're going to have radiation. And by the way, you have an oncology, follow-up.
So what's coming next?
Right. It's something that's nice for the patient. They don't have to think. And oftentimes, because you're either chemo brain or fuzzy brain, you can't think. And I've been there. I mean, your brain's frozen. It's like, unless someone reminds you somehow, it's kind of forgotten. Connect. I have another idea called Connect, which is research, conversations, consultations, lectures, ideas that are categorized somehow. I do a lot of hunting and snooping around. And if somehow they can, I don't know if you look at an article and what do you call it? Categorize it. Can you do that?
Do you want to categorize it? Do you want?
Yeah, say I'm reading an article here.
Yeah.
I'll just pick one. Circulating tumor DNA in blood. Can you look in our article and categorize it?
You want to add to
This may be way in the future. I mean, it's not immediate.
We have
but
a basic bookmarking kind of feature at the moment, where you can save an article out for later. You can tie it to questions that you can ask your doctor, things like that. We don't have specific categorization yet.
Not yet. But it can be.
But it could be.
We're gonna have
Yeah.
a different section, kind of like category, like say about the cancer, general cancer information about the work, about how to talk to your kids.
What would you like to see? Do you want us to pre-categorize for you, or would you like to set your own category?
in other words, okay, I read through a lot of articles. I don't remember things. I vaguely remember things. And if it was put in a category, the article, if I was to do it manually, I just do an optical scanner and pick out keywords, maybe keywords is the thing. And then they would be put in that bin. And then somebody comes in and says, I'm interested in, I heard about this circulating blood thing, and I'd like to know more about it. And then you can just connect them, or maybe there's a database that goes through these things, and people can go right there. And
Are you talking about categorizing the illness? Is it the type of illness?
no, the articles. Actually, I'm interested.
Yeah, so
in,
based on what? Like, how would you like to categorize the article? Is it based on?
they're like keywords, I guess.
Yeah, I understand. But are you looking to be able to categorize based on the illness type? Is that the issue, or you want to know if this article is about treatment or is it about information?
information. It may be treatment, it may be clinical, I don't know. It's, most of these are research
If
oriented
you wanted,
articles.
you know, radiotherapy, you could have 3 or 4 articles on radiotherapy. You could have, you know,
Yeah.
other stuff on.
So we plan to feature like a search. So you can search a keyword.
Mhm.
Find the article will be something like we can meet your needs to use that, you know, certain keywords, type it, and then you're gonna show up the articles either you bookmark or you haven't read
Right.
yet.
Right. Yeah. I'm thinking more in terms, well, that's okay. It's way off in the future. It's, yeah, it's just something that for me, to read these articles, to be able to categorize them or tag them or keep, you know, keywords or whatever you want to call it, it would be very helpful. It was automatic, and I don't have to go through and say, oh, this belongs in this bin, so I'll file it in here. And then you might be able to put it in a global database. You might use it for other applications outside of cancer. I don't know. But I find that useful in terms of research. And then you can share it, you know, identify your community that you want to share it with. I call it a global ideas repository.
I like it.
Yeah, for lectures, conversations, research, therapy sessions that you, something pops up out of a, you know, attendee and you say, hey, there's a need for that, or, you know, maybe I should check this out.
It's good feedback.
Okay, and then lastly, I guess I didn't think about this enough, but I think there should be a wish list. Yeah, a repository for the next generation of ideas and needs. And I really didn't get into it, but some sort of a wish.
So you as a user would be able to comment in the application what you're looking for?
I guess it would help you with your products,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And then me personally, yes,
Yeah.
as a patient.
So we're gonna have a forum, some kind of discussion place. People can go there and then you know, ask a question or post anything like. So we can have something like, you know, like section just like wish list, something like, and any user can go there and share like what kind of feature or what kind of thing they want to see. They don't like it, so something like that. You think you'd be interested in using it?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, the wish list is more for treatment. Right now, treatment is surgery, chemotherapy, radiation. But in the future, in the near future, it's not going to be that way. The surgeries will be gone. It will probably be an injection of some sort, or who knows, a pill, who knows. And I think a lot can be said from survivors or people who are going through and wishing they didn't have to go through this nightmare, because that actually will guide the design of the future treatment.
Very good feedback. Anything else?
No, I'm exhausted, but I will get you that the little card. It's invaluable.
Sounds great.
Excellent.
Thank you for your time. Your feedback is super valuable to us. We will take that forward and refine it and add it to the application.
Well, I'm very excited for your product.